bring anything to the table. I'm gonna adjust to it and I'm gonna roll with it. I worry about me. You know, you're not gonna get everything. And I don't really care about too much or nothing else. Just make sure you win. Everything else is gonna come into place. My main objective is just keep winning.
It's day 4 of Terence Bud Crawford's intense training camp for the Canelo Alvarez super fight, and the headlines just won't quit. New training footage, a viral commencement speech, a $10 million payday claim, a rehydration clause snub. And now, David Benavidez weighs in, and Bud just teased a possible $200 million fight with Jake Paul. Yes, seriously. So let's break down everything you didn't know about boxing's most unpredictable showdown, and what it all means for Crawford's legacy.
Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah.
He too big?
Yeah, Jake big, but he doing his thing, man. I'm gonna let Jake do what Jake.
You got $200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul. I'm fighting Jake Paul. Come on, Jake.
If you thought Terence Bud Crawford was easing into the biggest fight of his life, think again. Day 4 of his training camp is less about preparation and more about transformation. The man isn't just training, he's evolving. From the very first clip released on social media, it's clear. Crawford is moving with menace. He's thicker, more grounded, but still lightning quick. There's a controlled violence in his combinations, a rhythm that feels less like a man punching mitts and more like an orchestra conductor, except every note is a punch aimed at Canelo Alvarez's crown. Insiders say Crawford has added muscle without compromising mobility, which is no small feat when you're jumping 2 full weight classes. And yes, his legendary footwork, still intact. His head movement, sharper than a scalpel. This isn't a Crawford coasting on experience. This is a man training like the odds are stacked, and he loves it. The atmosphere inside camp, gritty. No frills, no inflated egos, just sweat, repetition, and that low hum of legacy calling. Trainer Brian BoMac McIntyre, ever the straight shooter, addressed the weight controversy head-on during a recent media scrum. "We don't give a damn about no rehydration clause," BoMac fired off. "You accepted the fight? Fight like a man." That quote didn't just resonate, it exploded. It's been clipped, remixed, and memed across boxing Twitter. It's raw, unapologetic, and pure boxing bravado.
That's some pussy shit. That's some weak shit. Oh, you can't come in this much and shit. Oh, man, get the fuck out of here. It's boxing. You got on the scale, I made the weight, regardless when I come back to ask. Hey, you accepted the fight, let's get in there and fight like me. Simple as that.
Team Crawford is daring Canelo to come in as heavy as he wants. No excuses, no limits, just fists and pride. So far, the footage doesn't lie. Crawford's not just preparing to survive at 168, he's preparing to dominate. If there's one fighter who understands the mountain Crawford is about to climb, it's David Benavidez.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is.
The undefeated former champ who spent years chasing Canelo, only to be dodged and dismissed. So when Benavidez speaks on this matchup, the boxing world listens. Speaking on pound for pound with Kamaru and Henry, Benavidez didn't mince words. He gave Crawford all the flowers his skill set deserves. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. That's not a casual compliment coming from a knockout artist like Benavidez. But then came the qualifier, the reality check fans needed to hear. But it's a lot of weight, you know what I mean? Benavidez referenced Bud's last fight at 154 pounds, a bout that many felt was closer than it should have been. Crawford got hit, clean. And now he's stepping into the ring with someone who has flattened world champions at 168 and even fought at 175. If Crawford felt those punches at 154, imagine Canelo. This isn't a slight size advantage, this is a different league of physicality. And yet, Benavidez didn't rule Bud out. In fact, he did the opposite. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if he loses either.
No, you really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah. Yeah, I can make 168.
It was a rare moment of honesty in boxing commentary, acknowledging Crawford's genius but also respecting the physics of power, pressure, and pounds. In short, Benavidez believes Bud has the brain, but whether that can overcome Canelo's brawn? That's the $200 million question. While the boxing world dissected training footage and debated contracts,
From Omaha also means you're a fighter. Two things we have in common now. I was a fighter before I became a boxer. I was a competitor before I ever put the gloves on. I accepted this invitation to speak with you today because I love being around other fighters.
Crawford stepped into a different kind of ring this week, the commencement stage at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. Standing before a sea of caps and gowns, the same man who's preparing for a brutal war in the ring delivered a knockout speech without throwing a single punch. Being from Omaha means you're a fighter, he told graduates. You control your own destiny. It wasn't just words. It was a raw, unscripted glimpse into how Crawford became Crawford. He spoke about being expelled from 5 schools, about being shot in the head, about growing up in North Omaha with no roadmap, but plenty of potholes. But instead of turning inward, Crawford turned upward. And now, he's not just fighting for belts, he's fighting for something generational. The speech went viral.
Control your own destiny. You get to determine your greatness. You have everything you need to be a champion. If you watch any of my matches, you know I like to get in and out the ring in less than 20 minutes.
Athletes, teachers, parents, even casual fans reshared clips of the moment. And suddenly, even some of Crawford's critics were hit with a new realization. This isn't just about boxing. This is about becoming the hero he never had. He ended the speech with the kind of message that resonates far beyond sports. Don't be satisfied. Ever. The moment I became a world champ, I didn't celebrate. I asked what's next. Well, what's next is Canelo, then maybe Jake Paul. And after that, who knows? But one thing's certain, Terence Crawford isn't just fighting for himself. He's fighting to prove that destiny is a decision. In a sport where the numbers often shout louder than the punches, the Crawford-Canelo purse split has become a headline of its own. Initial reports out of multiple outlets, some tied to insiders close to the promotion, claimed that Terence Crawford would walk away with a guaranteed $50 million purse, while Canelo Alvarez would bank a staggering $150 million, bringing the total event valuation near the $200 million mark. But then came Crawford's interview with Ak and Barack. The Omaha native leaned in, smiled, and dropped a bombshell. I got $10 million for that fight. The room went silent. Both hosts blinked, trying to decide whether Bud was being sarcastic or if this was the most lowball super fight deal in modern history.
I just want to know what number makes sense for you. What's fair?
I got $10 million for that fight.
That's a lie.
How you know that's a lie?
To fight Canelo?
Yeah.
That's a lie.
I'm doing it for the opportunity, baby.
Impressed, Crawford didn't flinch. How do you know that's a lie? I'm doing it for the opportunity. The legacy outweighs the money. It's the kind of statement that makes fans lean in. Is Bud truly the throwback warrior who puts glory above gold? Or is this a smokescreen, either to deflect attention from back-end PPV splits or to play the long game and build leverage for a potential rematch clause? Insiders speculate that Crawford may be downplaying his earnings for strategic reasons. Some say he has a percentage-based PPV bonus tied to the final numbers. Others believe he's simply posturing to feed the legacy over luxury narrative he's leaned into so heavily. But the reality is this: in a sport where fighters routinely dodge each other for a few extra million, Bud is stepping up 2 weight divisions with no rehydration clause.
Whoa, fight fans, the Alvarez-Crawford showdown just got spicier. No rehydration clause, that's huge. Alvarez could be packing an extra 20 pounds of power on fight night. But here's the $1 million question. Will it matter against Crawford's supreme skills?
Against one of the hardest punchers of the modern era, for what might be a fraction of Canelo's purse. And that, whether you respect it or call it foolish, is a storyline that's impossible to ignore. Just when things couldn't get more surreal, Crawford added a twist straight out of Hollywood. On Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp, the topic of Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned fighter, came up. Naturally, Crawford brushed it off at first. Jake's doing his thing. I'm gonna let Jake do what Jake do. A diplomatic pass, polite, respectful, and dismissive, but then Sharp playfully upped the stakes. What if it was for $200 million? Crawford didn't hesitate. I'm fighting Jake Paul. Cue the headlines. Twitter lit up like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Fans debated whether Bud was joking, trolling, or dead serious. But to those watching closely, there was a sparkle in his eye, a rare moment of playful honesty from a fighter known for keeping his cards close to the chest.
Hey, Logan, I gotta fight your brother, man.
When you watched the Tyson and the Jake Paul fight,
Tyson shouldn't have been out there biting his gloves and stuff.
was he biting his glove because that was a tick, or was he biting his glove like, man, I want to hit this joke upside his head so bad, but I can't?
I don't know. I don't want to spread no rumors.
Here's the subtext. Crawford knows the game. He may preach legacy, and no doubt he's chasing it, but he's also savvy enough to understand boxing's new business model. Jake Paul may not be a traditional boxer, but he's a walking ATM with a social media army and TV reach most promoters can only dream of. For a payday like that, who wouldn't take the fight? And if Crawford becomes the first 3-division undisputed champion in history before facing Jake Paul, the narrative writes itself. It becomes Ali versus Inoki for the modern age. Legacy meets spectacle. As if the purse confusion and Jake Paul curveball weren't enough, the entire promotional infrastructure of the fight just got flipped on its head. Originally slated as the debut mega event of TKO Boxing, a joint venture between Dana White, Turki Alalshik, and WWE's Nick Khan, the Crawford vs. Canelo showdown was expected to launch a new era of streamlined, league-style boxing with UFC-like consistency. But now, Dana White is out.
Dana White will not be promoting Canelo versus Crawford after he was dropped by the promotional team by Turki Alalshik. He won't be promoting that card whatsoever. He'll be back to the UFC where he belongs doing his job, and we're going to get to that.
In a shock development, Sela, the Saudi sports and events powerhouse, has taken full control of the promotion. The shift reportedly followed scheduling issues with Allegiant Stadium, where the fight was initially set for September 12th. A college football game blocked the venue, forcing a date move to September 13th, and with that came a change in location and leadership. The new frontrunners for the venue? Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and New York City. All massive markets with PPV appeal, but none confirmed. And while the fight is guaranteed to air on pay-per-view, rumors that it might land on Netflix have been officially shut down. No final broadcaster has been announced, which only adds to the uncertainty, but also the hype. And let's be real, Dana White's removal is no minor detail. It means this fight is no longer about launching a new league. It's now squarely a product of the Saudi-led global boxing wave, with Turki Alalshik and Sela steering the ship. What does that mean for fans? Bigger spectacle, bigger checks, and likely bigger surprises still to come.
Yeah, that's good.
The legacy.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
You believe that?
Yeah, 100%. If he said 10 million, it's 10 million.
The legacy outweigh the money.
That's true. I respect it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
3-time undisputed. Ooh, coming soon.
Let's talk about the elephant in the ring, or more accurately, the extra 20 pounds of muscle it could be carrying. In boxing, especially at the elite level, size doesn't just matter, it defines fights. And in Crawford versus Canelo, it might be the X factor that nobody can fully measure until the final bell rings. Here's the kicker. There is no rehydration clause. None. Nada. Zilch. That means once both fighters make weight at the 168-pound limit on the official weigh-in day, Canelo Alvarez can put on as much weight as his body allows before stepping into the ring. And history shows he will. Canelo has been known to balloon up past 180 pounds by fight night, something that gives him a frightening edge in power, pressure, and punch absorption. He's fought at light heavyweight, has taken shots from 175-pound monsters, and still walked forward like he was chasing lunch. Terence Crawford? His last official fight was at 154, and before that, welterweight, 147 pounds. He's making a 21-pound leap in a sport where a 2-pound difference has changed the course of world titles. So why agree to a fight without restrictions? That answer came loud and clear from Crawford's longtime trainer, Brian BoMac McIntyre. You made weight, now fight. That's it. But behind that quote lies a deep, old-school boxing philosophy. Real fighters fight anyone, under any conditions. BoMac is daring Canelo to come in big, because he believes that what Bud lacks in size, he makes up for in intelligence, angles, adaptability, and timing. Still, it's a gamble that has fight fans and insiders biting their nails. Will Crawford's speed and IQ neutralize the weight gap? Or will this turn into a David versus Goliath scenario? Except Goliath's wearing Mexican red and throwing hooks like wrecking balls? While the fight might define Crawford's career on paper, his heart remains in Omaha and his most enduring legacy might not be in the record books, but in the lives he's already changing. Enter B&B Sports Academy, the youth center and training facility Crawford co-founded in the same tough North Omaha neighborhood that once nearly swallowed him whole. For Terence, this isn't just PR or branding. It's personal, deeply personal. There are a lot of kids growing up just like I did. No guidance, no support, nobody telling them they could be more than their block. Crawford's mission is clear. Use boxing as a vehicle, not just a destination. His gym teaches more than uppercuts and footwork. It teaches discipline, accountability, confidence, and maybe most importantly, hope. Kids walk through those doors knowing they're not just learning from a world champion. They're learning from someone who escaped the same streets they're still navigating. He shows up, he trains with them, and he reminds them every single day, you can be more. In a sport that eats its heroes alive, Crawford is quietly building a second act, one that might save more lives than any belt ever could. What's at stake on September 13th isn't just another belt or another zero on a fighter's record. This is about legacy at the highest, most rarefied level of the sport. Let's set the record straight. Canelo Alvarez, already the undisputed king at 168 pounds, a 4-division world champion, the face of boxing for over a decade. Terence Crawford, the only male boxer in history to become undisputed at 140 and 147 pounds, now chasing an unprecedented third. If Bud pulls this off against a bigger, stronger, naturally heavier legend in Canelo, he becomes the first male boxer in the 4-belt era to unify 3 divisions. That's not just greatness, that's immortality. But the odds, they're brutal. No catch weight, no second-day weigh-in, no warm-up fight at 160 or 168, just a cold, calculated jump into the lion's den, hoping elite skill can cancel out elite size. This isn't just the biggest risk of Crawford's career, it's possibly the boldest challenge anyone has accepted in modern boxing history. So here's the question. Does Bud have what it takes? Will Canelo's power be too much? And could Jake Paul actually be in his future if he pulls this off? Sound off in the comments, smash that follow and stay locked, because when you mix legacy, ego, $10 million truth bombs, and a potential Jake Paul mega fight, there's only one thing guaranteed: drama. Alright guys, for the best updates on boxing news, moments, events, and actions, subscribe to Knockout Updates and turn on notifications to never miss out on quality content and check out our other videos. Until next time, peace out.